Bill White's Midday Rant is a short, sharp take on what's happening and how it relates to you. Agree or disagree? Listen to middayrant.com today.
This is a quick follow-up to my rant of a couple of episodes ago entitled No More Masks on Planes. As expected, the CDC has requested the U.S. Department of Justice to appeal U.S. District Judge Kathryn Mizelle's ruling that it had acted unlawfully, and also, as expected, leftists and their apologists are doing their best to misrepresent and confuse that decision. Yesterday, Dr. Anthony Fauci was speaking to Neil Cavuto on Fox News, and he shouldn't be. He should be in jail. But there he was on Fox News and speaking about the judge's ruling when he said, quote, "This is a CDC issue. It should not be a court issue," end quote. Fauci continued, quote, "This is a public health decision, and I think it's a bad precedent when decisions about public health issues are made by people, be they judges or what have you, that don't have experience or expertise in public health, and I believe that this should remain a CDC decision," end quote. But the court hasn't made any public health decision. The court said that the CDC violated the law when it mandated masks on public transportation because it failed to follow the established rules. Judge Mizelle made no comment about the effectiveness of masks one way or the other. In her 59-page ruling, which struck down the federal mask mandate for airplanes and other modes of public transportation, Judge Mizelle wrote that the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention had exceeded its authority and failed to follow proper rulemaking procedures. Nothing in the judge's decision prevents the zealots from wearing masks, but Cavuto is the least credible and least effective news anchor on any network, so Fauci was given free rein to promote his dictatorial message, which also included numerous pushes for vaccination, and at one point he seemed to say that forced lockdowns should be used to vaccinate the population. Cavuto has been described as a Trump skeptic, but is really an ardent anti-Trumper, and ironically, a vaccine cheerleader, who despite being vaccinated got COVID-19, and then, as these cheerleaders so often do, he made the leap to credit his survival to the vaccine that failed to protect him in the first place. But Cavuto and his ilk are our modern-day Nero, playing the fiddle while Rome burns, so little attention should be paid to what they say. On the other hand, tyrants like Fauci are desperately clinging to the power they seized during the exaggerated pandemic. They recognize that public opinion is against their dictatorial policies, and they know that when the left loses control of the U.S. House of Representatives in November, their remaining authoritarian control will dissolve. These communists are searching for something, anything, that will make it possible for them to retain power. And at this stage, the only thing that could save the Democrats is another pandemic, or some other manufactured crisis through which they could make the case for mail-in ballots. Fauci wants unfettered control over your health. He doesn't want the courts to be able to stop him, the NIH, or the CDC from telling you what to do. Would you give Fauci unchecked control over you or your family's health with no recourse to prevent their mandates? Do you trust him? I don't trust Dr. Fauci or any of his ilk, and you shouldn't either.